Good morning, everybody. I am going to be walking you through a 15-minute morning stretch. This is just a really good way to start opening up all the areas of your body, getting things moving and stretched out after sleeping all night. A lot of times if we sleep in a weird position, it can be really tender and sore after, or just really stiff and tight. And it's always a good idea to stretch out your body first thing in the morning because it just really sets you up for the rest of your day. And makes the rest of your day a lot easier. And this is especially good to do if you sit a lot during the day. This will allow you can do this at any time during the day, and it will just allow you to kind of stretch everything back out so that you're not constantly contracting all of your muscles. So let's begin. We're gonna start with a simple cat and cow. I want everyone to come to their hands and knees. And I want you to make sure that your shoulders are stacked over your wrists and your hips are stacked over your knees. So straight line, none of this, because you're gonna set yourself up for injury. So on your next inhale, I want you to drop your belly and look up. And really feel that stretch on the front side of your body. And then as you exhale, I want you to round your tailbone, around your spine, and drop your head. And inhale and look up. And exhale and drop everything, or your head down. Pull everything up. And you can continue this at your own pace, whatever feels really good for you. We're just gonna stay here for a few more moments. And remember to always listen to your body. You never want to push yourself farther than your body is willing to go on a particular day. Some days you may be able to stretch so deep, and other days you can barely get halfway into it, but that's really about honoring ourselves and our practice. So I want you to come back to neutral spine. Bring your hands out just a little bit in front of you and tuck your toes, and we're going to come into our first downward dog. So I want you to begin by lifting the knees up and just keeping your knees bent for a second. And as you begin to straighten your legs out, just really make sure that you're honoring yourself and going only as far as your body is going to allow. If you need to keep your knees bent, that's totally fine too. And if it feels good, begin by walking your legs out. Just start stretching them, getting things woke up, making everything feel good. Make sure that you're not shrugging into your shoulders. Keep your shoulders down, pulled away from your ears. I know it seems kind of backwards because you're upside down, but don't keep your shoulders up by your ears, because again, you're going to cause tension, you're going to cause injury, all sorts of things like that. And then I want you to find some stillness. Make sure that your legs are as straight as you can get them, and I want you to tilt your sit bones up towards the sky. This is just going to allow for a deeper stretch in the back of the legs. And if this is too much, you absolutely can back off of this. I just want you to do what feels good for you. All right, now I want you to drop down to your knees, and we're going to do a simple wrist and forearm stretch. So I want you guys to stay in this position, but turn your hands so they are now backwards. And this is going to help stretch out your wrist and your forearm area that doesn't get stretched enough, but we use it quite often. And a lot of people get really bad carpal tunnel because they're not stretching all the areas of their body well enough. So if this feels good for you, just stay here and breathe. Just breathe into it. Allow those muscles to release. If you want to take it a little bit further, you can begin by leaning back and only go as far as it feels good for you. If there is pain, just back off so that you're not causing any issues. And we're just going to stay here and breathe. If you want to pulse through it, that's totally fine too. Again, it's all about finding what feels good for you in that moment. All right, and then we're going to come back and bring your hands back to normal. And I want you to come to a seated position on your mat. So we're going to start with taking out any tension in your neck. So we're going to start with some neck rolls, and just drop your ear to one side and then begin to roll it around and back. And just continue with this at your own pace Finding what feels good, moving in ways that your neck may need, just to really help stretch and release any tension out. And always remembering to breathe. And then we're going to switch directions. Start rolling in the opposite direction. Remember to follow your breath. Don't hold your breath. It's never good. Yoga is all about finding that balance between your body and your breath. All right, come back to center. And now we're going to do more of a static stretch. So I want you to drop your right ear to your right shoulder. And if this feels good for you, you can stay here, and then you can also play with it too and just find whereabouts in your neck needs that stretch today. If you want to take it a little bit further, bring your hand up and around to rest on the side of your head, but don't pull your head down. Just allow gravity to do the work. And again, same thing, just find that area in your neck that really needs that tension released, and then just hold it here for a few breaths. Remembering to breathe, don't hold your breath. And then release and bring your head back up to center. We're going to go on to the other side. Just gently drop your head over. Again, if this is enough, just stay here. Always honor your body. If you want to take it a little bit deeper, bring your hand up and around. Find that spot that feels good for you. Sometimes I have to play around with it for a while because it's like I find it and then it moves. So you just have to keep going. Or sometimes it releases, so I just find a new spot that needs a little bit more attention and love. And I want you to release your hand and bring your hand back up to, or your neck, head, back up to center. So we're gonna work on stretching out our sides now. So I want you to bring your hands down beside you, and on your next inhale, sweep them up to the sky. Deep breath in, and allow your body to fall to the right. If this right here is enough, and this is as far as you can go, please stay here, don't push yourself too far. I want you to remember to keep your opposite hip always rooted down into the mat, so that you're really getting that stretch into your side. But go down as far as you can. If you can touch your elbow to the mat or close to, do whatever feels right for you. Remembering to keep your heart lifted towards the sky. None of this, because you're not getting the stretch we're targeting and where you will probably need it the most. And then just breathe. Try breathing into your ribs a little bit just to help open up your rib cage and create more space in there, so that it'll make it a little bit easier for you to breathe during the day. And then inhale back up to center, and we're going to switch sides. So inhale your arms up, and let's go down to the opposite side. And this side for me is a little bit tighter. I can't go as far down yet. Remembering to keep your chest lifted towards the sky, and breathe deeply into your ribs, into your side. Just really opening everything up. All right, so now we're gonna do a seated butterfly stretch, and we're really gonna get into the inner thigh area. So bring your feet out in front of you. Try and bring it in as close to your sit bones as you can. The closer you can get it in, the more of a stretch you're gonna get on the inner legs. However, if this is as close as you can get, totally fine. Please do not push yourself farther than you need to go. And again, if this right here, if you're already feeling that stretch and it's quite tight in there, please don't push yourself farther. But if you can, on your next inhale, begin to slowly melt your heart down to the ground. If you want a more active stretch, use your elbows to help push down your knees a bit, very gently, just to help open them up a little bit more. If you want more of a passive stretch, just bring your hands out in front of you and just allow your body to fold over. And remembering to breathe. And then inhale our way back up. And we're gonna come sideways on our mat and bring your legs out in front of you. We're gonna work on stretching the back of the legs as well as your low back. So we're just gonna do a seated forward fold. I want you to inhale your hands up and then fold forward. And remembering to only go as far as you can. So if that means you're here, then that's where you are and that's okay. If you can, try and reach your feet. I personally like to use my hands to pull my toes back, just because it gives me a deeper stretch down the legs and it also helps to stretch out the bottom of the feet. And again, just breathe here. Whenever you inhale, lengthen a little bit. And whenever you exhale, just try and fold a little bit deeper into your stretch. And as your muscles begin to release, you'll notice that you'll be able to go a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper. Remembering to never cause pain in your body. If that is pain, that is your body telling you that it's too much and you need to back out. And inhale your way back up. I want you to scoot your bum down the mat a little bit. We're gonna come into a quick bridge pose. So lower yourself down to the mat gently. Bring your feet as close into your sit bones as you can while making sure that your knees are stacked over your ankles. So none of this, nice and straight. And on your next inhale, I want you to begin by slowly lifting everything up. And if this is enough, you can stay right here. If you want to get more of a chest opener, feel free to scooch your shoulders underneath and clasp your hands together like you're doing a shoulder stretch while you're sitting. And that just gives you more of a chest opener as well. And then just breathe, always remembering to breathe. And release those hands, and on your next exhale, begin slowly lowering each vertebrae back down until you've reached your hips. Now bring your legs in, your knees, hug them into your chest. You can add a little movement, a little rocking back and forth here. This will just help to release any tension in your low back. And then on your next exhale, I want you to take one of your legs and straighten them out and keep the other one tucked in. We are going to do a supine spinal twist. So I want you to bring your knee over to the opposite side. If you need to adjust your shoulders or your hips anyway so that you can keep your opposite shoulder on the ground, go ahead and do that now. And then I want you to allow your opposite hand to lay out, and then if it feels good for you, allow your head to turn to the side. And just remembering to breathe here. Hopefully you guys can hear me so that with my head being the opposite direction, I don't have a microphone yet. And then inhale everything back up to center, and I want you to switch legs. Hug that opposite leg in, and when you're ready, allow it to fall out to the side. Ooh, my spine just cracked. And allow your head to fall in the opposite direction if that feels good for you. If not, you can just keep it straight up to the sky, or even if you need to follow your body around if you're that tight. And just breathe. Twisting is a really good form of detoxification for your body, because while your organs are all twisted up and touching each other and you're breathing, it's actually giving your organs an internal massage, promoting the detox process. So this is a really good one for just promoting detox in your body. After a long weekend, or eating a whole bunch of stuff you shouldn't. Alright, and then come back up to center again. And our final pose that we're going to do before Shavasana, just hug both your knees in, and we're going to go into happy baby pose. So if you are very tight and you cannot reach your feet, I just want you to hold on to the back of your thighs and then just really help to bring your legs down as far as you can. But if you have the flexibility, feel free to grab the outsides of your feet. Keep your low back planted on the ground. And then just allow your arms to bring your feet down towards the mat. This is a really, really good hip opener, especially for people who sit a lot or just have tight hips in general. We also store a lot of our emotions in our hips, so I know a lot of girls, well, anyone can have really big emotional releases when they do a lot of hip opening classes. So if you feel anything coming up for you right now, just lean into it, let it happen, release it. It's all good. And then when you're done, bring your knees into your chest one last time. Rock back and forth. And go ahead and sprawl your legs and your hands out. There's my dog. And just come into our final posture of Shavasana. Just take a deep breath and allow your body to relax into your mat. If you have a dog, don't let them lick your face while you're almost asleep. If you want to pause this here, go ahead and you can stay in Shavasana as long as you want. If not, feel free to sit back up and come back to the end. Sit on your mat and bring your hands to heart center. And I want to thank you today for showing up, not just for yourself, not just for me, but just for the fact that you showed up today in itself speaks volumes. I hope you guys all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you again. Namaste.